What makes you roll your eyes every time you hear it? Story 1. I have a friend who always throws in little lies to his stories to make himself sound cooler. It's an automatic eye roll whenever he starts telling one. Edit, holy F, rip my inbox. Maybe I'll tell him I made a comment about him that got 30,000 upvotes. He'll probably tell people it got 60,000. Went to high school with a guy like this, so we started making crap up just to see if he would make up a story to top it. Worked every single time. This went on for months. He finally got owned so hard, he shut up, and that exchange went like this. Bragging liar guy, my parents bought me a new SUV. Regular guy, my dad bought me one too. Bragger, mine has leather. Regular guy, so does mine. Bragger, mine has, you get the point. He went on and on until he ran out of features to list. Finally, he says, my parents paid X amount of money for mine. Regular guy, and your parents are effing stupid. Did this with an old coworker who claimed he and his buddy ran from the cops in his car, then got on 2 wheels and drove up onto the wall Fast and Furious style. Someone said, you know what? I don't believe that. He went ballistic at the audacity that he'd ever lie. You gotta feel like a little bad for these people, right? This is a learned behavior, either something taught by a parent or self-taught as a way to cope with something. It's a way to try and get positive attention, but they are always so insufferable about it, so it really doesn't have the effect they think it has. Just be honest, like me, a gold medalist YouTube superstar who definitely knows how to pop a wheelie. I would do it now, but like the sun is in my eyes. Story 2. MLM pitches with or without copious amounts of emoji. Edited to add, since this keeps getting asked in the comments, MLM stands for multi-level marketing. Companies like Young Living, Monat, Mary Kay, and Avon, to name a few of many. They tell you that you own your own business, but you're really working as a commission-only distributor and recruiter with no benefits. There's a John Oliver video that's worth the time to watch. You can also check out Anti-MLM Momtrepreneur. Thank you for the copious amounts of cringe. I will now proceed to hang myself. Story 3. People who think being moody and brag that they're antisocial and hate everybody like it is a really cool and interesting personality trait. As someone who is kinda moody and antisocial and mildly grumpy, it legitimately sucks and should not be emulated if at all possible. Me too. I struggle with a lot of social situations and developing relationships / finding interest in other people and often fall into irritable moods, and I actively try to disguise and force myself to try and get over that. I want to appear social and enjoy the company of others so badly. Being moody and negative constantly is draining as F. Not cool. Story 4. Major news networks saying, this is breaking news. It used to be that they reserved that phrase for actual breaking news. Now they use it for even the most mundane stories. Watching the Super Tuesday results breaking news, polls just closed in these states, we will have results shortly. So the breaking news was that there might be breaking news soon. Something that was planned to happen, happened. I think most of us can agree that news stations are far more obsessed with ratings than they are with being legitimate dispensers of news. It sucks because you never know if you can really trust them, even if they share your general political views. Finding a source of news you can truly trust is like finding a unicorn. Story 5. When something is important to you and someone says, don't sweat the small stuff. Exactly. Just because it's not big to them, it's big to you or the person who's talking about it. Pees me off too. It's one thing to encourage people to not dwell on things out of their control. It's another entirely by diminishing something important to someone by saying that grade 9 classroom cat poster BS. Story 6. When people think they are obligated to hate one thing when they like the other. Pepsi versus Coca-Cola, Xbox versus PlayStation, hip-hop versus rock, Trek versus Wars. You can like both and it's fine. Edit. Oh, and don't forget iOS and Android and OS and Windows, cats and dogs too. I love both and don't like seeing them pitted against each other. Don't forget Marvel and DC. Big whoop if Marvel is doing better movies. Batman is still cool. Both franchises are great and you shouldn't feel obligated to love one and hate the other. You can also be absolutely sick of both, especially when it comes to Marvel and DC. I kid, they're doing great. But yeah, there are certain things I just try not to give my opinions on because some people always want to fight about it. I refuse to state what kind of phone I have because someone is going to start something that I just don't care about. Story 7. Anything related to job hunting, but especially just walk right in there wearing a suit, ask to speak to a manager, give them a firm handshake, your resume, and ask when you can start. LOL, I really hate that one, especially when I have to explain nobody but resumes or do pull-up interviews anymore. They send me out the door and to my computer. I'm job hunting in VFX right now, and there's nothing quite like both my parents not understanding that no one wants to see you in person and that you have to apply online first. Call them again later today and bug them so they consider you just you. No, Father, I won't, because that's pushy and rude. Story 8. It's a lot more dangerous than when we were kids. USA. Actually, no. Growing up in the 80s was one of the most dangerous for violence against children. It's on the media so much more now. It's more dangerous now than when we were kids. Me. Really? My parents had a lawn dart set that my friends and I played with without any parental supervision. Story 9. Why can't you be more like insert names here? The answer to this is, why can't you be more like insert other names here? Or better yet, use the same person and twist their argument right back at them. Story 10. My mom's, "What are you going to do when I'm dead?" speech. Yes, every single time I don't know how to do something. Sorry, Mom, no one has shown me how to fix a drain pipe yet. Calm down. What am I going to do when you're dead, Mom? First off, I'll have to hide the murder weapons. Nah, my mom is actually amazing and weirdly supportive of my frankly aimless life. Love you, Mom. Story 11. In Germany, there's a popular joke that my hometown doesn't exist. Lots of people know this joke, and when I'm in other regions, everyone will make that joke when I tell them where I'm from. It got really annoying after the first few times. Good for you that it can't be Bellafield because it's a fictional town. Blobfish Lee is rolling their eyes. Story 12. People who speak authoritatively on really complex subjects that they have a blog's worth of knowledge on. So this site. Well, not just this site. Most people do this in person too. The internet is just rife with it. The people I respect the most will come out and say that they aren't very knowledgeable in a certain subject right away and then not try to BS their way through the topic anyway. Look at that, we found a winner! People love to see a fragment of information on complex topics and suddenly believe they know more than experts. Not to say we should take every little thing that is supposedly said by an expert as gospel, but we shouldn't assume we know more than them. I've really come to terms with the fact that not only do I not have all the answers, I'm a little suspect of the answers I'm pretty sure I got right. Story 13. This isn't just a company, it's a family. F right off. This is code for we're going to ask you to do some BS that is wildly outside the scope of what you were hired for, and not return the favor if you need time off or any other tiny inconvenience to the company. Story 14. I'm so OCD. Oh, I'm so OCD. Washes their hands regularly and puts their belongings away when they're done using them. Takes notes in different colored pens. Story 15. Live, laugh, love. To be fair, I don't know that I've ever heard it spoken aloud, but I've sure seen it on walls in offices and homes. Eat, crap, die. Trevor Phillips. I gotta go meditate or touch myself or both. Okay, this may be dumb, but I've kind of grown to love those saccharine motivational things. Seriously, if you put that stuff up and make a conscious effort to look at it every day and even say it like an affirmation, it might start to work. It sounds silly, but sometimes all it takes is some overused happy expression to infect your life with some positivity. Story 16. For all intensive purposes, like a bowl in a china shop. From the get-go. Irregardless. The first couple are called Eggcorns, and I highly recommend you look into them. They are a lot of fun if you find the study of language fun. I did an essay on them for a linguistics class. Story 17. People that claim that ingesting something will detox you. Your kidneys and liver already do that for free. No need to waste money on some stupid internet claim. Detox drinks/teas are literally laxatives. I don't know how scamming people to that extent is legal. I got a good cheap detox. Those Mio energy things you squirt in your water to flavor it, I used to drink them until I tried the sugar-free ones. Those once turned my anus into a high-pressure water hose. Story 18. How's everyone doing today? Oh, you can do better than that. How's everyone doing today? I roll my eyes and cringe every time. I go silent when this happens. I can't hear you. You should see a doctor about that. Story 19. You only use insert random number % of your brain. No, idiot, you don't. You use 100%, but not at a time. Edit. Don't want to spread stupid/false information. Really, when anybody uses a % when they're trying to describe something, 99% of stats are made up on the spot. Story 20. That humans only use 10% of their brain, a la Lucy. Ironically, the people who spout this actually use 10% of their brain. Story 21. When people pay extra money to have nitrogen put in their tires. No thank you. I'll take the 78% nitrogen stuff for free. Do people really do that? I might have to look up why after this because I'm kind of baffled. I mean, I don't give a rip about cars in the least, so maybe this is way more known, but weird. Story 22. Anything related to crime these days and how dangerous the world has gotten. It is no more dangerous today than in your parents' generation. We are just more aware because of social media. We also learned things like hitchhiking are dangerous, and knowing a little about your kid's babysitter, thank you Google, is a great idea. Police sharing info with other police is a wild concept. Story 23. That since I'm an identical twin, I must have mind-reading powers. Or the, am I seeing double joke? Story 24. Horse or pony jokes about my Great Dane. That's a horse. Where's her saddle? This is a dog park, not a pony park. I've lost track of how many times I've heard all of them repeatedly for 8 years. I like to imagine you actually do own a horse and are just oblivious to the fact that people are genuinely concerned you are bringing a horse to places it doesn't belong. As a Great Dane owner myself, I can confirm that this happens pretty much every time someone meets her. I also own a pit bull, and we still get some folks who are a bit nervous around her. Folks, you are 1000% more likely to get hurt on accident from my clumsy Dane than you are to get anything more than relentless affection from my Pitty. She is the sweetest thing on earth. Story 25. Sitting in a circle and someone says, all right, everyone say your name, hometown, and an interesting fact about yourself. Story 26. Throwaway for reasons. Wow, this really blew up. Thanks for the gold, kind stranger. Rip inbox. Edit. Wow, this really blew up. Thanks for the gold, kind stranger. Rip inbox. And apologizing for formatting because mobile. I'm starting to skip threads that start with this. The most annoying one is edit. Wow, can't believe my most upvoted comment is now about insert completely average keyword here. Honestly, I just started to cut that stuff out of the stories because I can't keep reading that stuff over and over. Also, they completely forgot the worst one of the bunch. Obligatory not blank, but when they aren't in the category of person being asked. I mean, still answer the question, but if your post starts with the word obligatory, then I will feel obligated to judge you. Story 27. This is real music, unlike this and that. They don't make music like this anymore. Who's listening in 2020? I was born in the wrong generation. Just shut up and enjoy the damn song for F's sake. Hey, I'm also listening in 2020, her. They don't make music like this anymore. I can guarantee you there was some absolute schlock on the charts back in my day. It's just that no one either remembers it or wants to admit that they used to unironically listen to it. Story 28. My dog barks at the gardener every week. Jack, you stupid nugget, you've known the gardener your entire life. He is not an intruder. Story 29. I know some of you won't repost this, and I know who you are. Effing hope so. Anyone with common sense will block you. Oh, the immediate tightening of my jaw and irritation I felt the moment I read that first part. Holy crap. Anyone who starts a post off like this is someone I am now significantly less invested in listening to. Story 30. My last name is the same as a current virus pandemic and beer. The jokes and questions are 98% the same, and I don't think they'll ever stop. That's because the other 2% die. I literally laughed out loud. Story 31. Why do you want to work for this company? I don't know, man. I hear you give out these things called paychecks. I gave this answer during an interview once, though I think I just said, money? We had a laugh, but then I said, I certainly hope you're the kind of company that appreciates honesty. They were not. Fun fact, almost none are. Story 32. I brought you into this world, I can take you out. Funny story, my stepdad told me this once when I was like 13 or 14. I looked him straight in the eye and just said, "You're not even my real dad." Later, my mom told me I hurt his feelings. You hurt his feelings? He hurt my body. He burnt my shake. Story 33. I'll give you this $20 bill if you roll your eyes. I'm not mad, but $20 is $20. Story 34. I don't want chemicals on my food. Literally everything you can eat are chemicals. Bio cucumbers. Of course they're bio. I prefer steel cucumbers. Story 35. Anytime someone uses #blessed. Ugh. But what other hashtag should I use when someone says bless you? This is the only acceptable use case. Story 36. You should smile more. For who? You random stranger? Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.